Hello and welcome to The Recovering Entrepreneur. My name's Luke Garnsworthy and I'm a recovering entrepreneur. So you might be wondering, what's with The Recovering Entrepreneur? Well, up until November 2022, I was the CEO and founder of a small restaurant business with 2 sites. Very popular, quite successful, up until the pandemic had its way. Long story short, November 2022, it all came crashing down as the business went into liquidation. So I am now recovering, getting back on my feet and coming up with some new ideas. This is simply a way of me documenting my process from going from losing everything to hopefully building something quite successful. And if anyone can learn something along the way from my mistakes and my successes, then fantastic. I'd also like to document the process. I've got 2 young kids. They don't really understand what's going on at the moment, so they can look back in years to come and kind of see what mum and dad were going through at this time. I also find this kind of thing, public speaking, very uncomfortable. I don't enjoy it really. So one of my challenges for myself this year is to push myself out of my comfort zone, do something new, develop some new skills. So this is it. So please be gentle in these early days. Hopefully the videos will get better, my presenting will get better, but let's see. And one of the biggest reasons for this channel is a source of accountability for me and my goals. I feel that if you publicly announce your goals to friends, family, loved ones, then there's more chance of you actually following through and succeeding with them. So if I make my business goals and my personal goals public, as I will later in this video, to everyone that's watching it, I then have to be accountable to all of you to come back later on and show my progress and hopefully show that we've succeeded in achieving those goals. Just before we get into the nitty-gritty of this first video, I just want to kind of make it clear that this isn't going to be a series or a channel of me saying this is what you should do if you want to have a restaurant, or this is what you want to do if you want to have a business. This is purely going to be me saying this is what I've done, this is what I'm planning to do, this is how I'm going to do it. Every week I'll come on here, say what I've done. Most of it's probably going to go wrong at some point, but that's the fun of business. You figure out a solution and you get on with it and hopefully make a success of it. So let's see if anyone's got any great ideas from what you've seen in previous videos, any suggestions, any helps and hints. I'm not an expert, just let me know, please. I really appreciate any help that anyone can offer. So with it being the first video, maybe a little bit of background about me, where I'm from, what I've done, and how we've kind of got to where we are now with a recovering entrepreneur. I'm originally from Exeter, down in Devon. The accent will pop out every now and then, sorry about that. Didn't enjoy education, don't really have much to show for it. Couple of A-levels, I'm not going to tell you the grades because they're barely passes. I like just getting on with things, creating, playing sport. I wasn't a pain in the arse in school or anything like that. I got on well with most of my teachers. It just, academics was not for me. I wasn't stupid, you know, I got A's, B's and C's through GCSE, and then I just kind of got lazy and switched off. After college I then kind of bummed around a little bit, did the odd jobs here and there, tried a few things out, didn't really enjoy it, and cooking was always in the back of my mind. My family have been in hospitality for multi-generations. My dad was a chef. I grew up in the original Crockers restaurant down in Exeter. So at 23 years old, coming out of a fairly long-term relationship, I thought, let's give it a crack. So went and trained pretty quickly and then jumped into the fire, so to speak, worked through London, worked for some of the best chefs in the country, some of the worst chefs in the country probably, learning a lot, how to do things, how not to do things, organisation. I did burn out at one point, decided to retrain as a personal trainer, moved back out to Hertfordshire where my wife Fee is from, decided to start a personal training business, which was my first big mistake. Lots of PTs around, and as a new guy you couldn't really get any clients, even charging pennies. First lesson there, don't undercharge because people will question why you're so cheap. I then decided to combine the food and the personal training together, so I started creating customised diet meals, I suppose, tailored to people's calories and macronutrients. Bit really popular these days, but I was doing that kind of 7-8 years ago. But cooking and the restaurant scene was still there and something I really wanted to do. So we tested out a concept in Fee's parents' house. It worked really, really well. People seemed to like small 10-seat, sort of 10-guest dining experiences. We then converted a small room in our site where we were doing the meals into a little chef's table, 10 seats again. And the two of us would cater to people for lunch and dinner. That really quickly took off. So we took on a new chef, Scott, who's still, I'm happy to say, the head chef at Crockers Tring. After Scott came on board with his MasterChef background, the business boomed. So we moved to Tring in 2018. Things went really, really well. We decided to open up Crockers Henley in 2019. We found the site and we pushed on. Obviously, you know what's coming. Early 2020, everyone starts getting a sniff and a cough. And then March 2020, the world goes into meltdown. Just as we were about to open the doors to Crockers Henley in April 2020. Long story about Crockers, but I'm not going to go into it. That deserves its own video, really. But yeah, led to November 2022, everything ending, 9th of November. Basically, I lost everything. Unemployed, no business, very, very weird feeling. Took a huge hit to my mental health, no issues admitting to that. I completely crumbled, fell apart, but luckily with the support of Fee, my wife, managed to sort of take a month off, spend some time with her and the kids, and now new year, new me, you know, cliche, but we've got lots of fun stuff in the pipeline, which we're going to talk about today. So, business goals for this year and on. One thing I've learned pretty quickly, and I've had in the back of my mind for some years now, is developing multiple streams of revenue. It was one thing that one of my biggest partners at Crockers said, you know, you want to be making money when you sleep, which is pretty tricky with a restaurant. You can't really sleep on the job, but I get what he means now. So we're essentially going to try and build 4 to 5 revenue streams this year. So I've created a new company called Lunar Solutions Limited. LU from Luke, NA from Fiona, very cliche, but nice little name. So with that, we're going to be offering in about 3 months' time web development. So working very closely with businesses, developing a very user-centric website and a quality online presence. Obviously, my background's in hospitality, so hopefully I'll be able to get to work with some fantastic hospitality businesses, use my knowledge and expertise in that field to build something that's really easy to use and will drive a lot of traffic and a lot of revenue. I'm currently studying with Code Academy on a full stack engineering course, because while I have coded in the past, it was a long time ago, so time to refresh, bring my skills up to date, and get going with that. So we'll be offering that in about 3 months' time. Something we're offering right now, another stream of revenue, is content creation. So I did all the content creation for Crockers, both Henley and Tring, shooting video, sometimes photos. We did use a photographer, but we couldn't always get him in. So if not, then I took some photos of the dishes, did all the editing, cut all the videos together, created reels, and I really enjoyed that. Unfortunately, as the CEO of a small business like that, I wore many hats and I didn't really get to do it enough. So that's something we're going to be focusing on heavily. So the third revenue stream Lunar Solutions is going to come up with is starting a cookie slice business. So totally different to web development and social content creation, but back into the food, cooking, you know, the things I really love. And cookie slices, something new for me in the last few months. A wonderful treat. It's basically layers of cookie dough baked with a really naughty filling. So a lot of people fill them with chocolate bars and then more chocolate melted, bake them in the oven like that. But I'm going to try and refine it slightly, come up with some more sort of dessert-based flavours. So lemon meringue, black forest gatto, Eton mess, things like that. And really, yeah, just try and elevate what is a sort of cafe treat into something really nice. Cooked fresh, ordered online and delivered to your door within a couple of days. There seems to be a real boom on things like brownies and cake deliveries. However, I can't see many people doing the cookie slice. So we're going to the Cookie Slice Company, and that's going to start hopefully shipping in the next couple of months. So the fourth revenue stream, we haven't really finalised, haven't started working on it just yet, but it's really tailored to that kind of passive income kind of revenue. So we're going to set up an Etsy store and create some digital assets. Obviously, I'm doing content creation, so I'm going to be creating a lot of photos. If there's a way that we can pick our favourite ones, maybe do a little artsy edit to it, or maybe just put it up as a downloadable print. The idea is that we create digital assets, we pop them up on Etsy, and that's it, job done. Create one thing, sell it multiple times, and the holy grail of making money when you're asleep, because it can be downloaded at any time of the day, anywhere in the world. That's something we're going to be working on, and I'll document that as we go. And then the fifth revenue stream for Lunar Solutions, or me personally, I suppose you could say, is something that if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It is the social media, these videos, YouTube. There's a lot of people out there making okay money, a lot of people making a lot of money, but I don't think I've quite got the personality and the presentation and the production skills for that, but who knows. So, once you hit a threshold on YouTube, you can monetize it, and we will do that, because if we can help bring in a bit of revenue for the business, then absolutely we'll definitely do that. Then that enables us to help more people going forwards. But like I say, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just going to document this process every week and make a complete fool of myself. And if people enjoy it enough that we can generate some money from it, then happy days. So the intention with this channel is to document the progress of the business and kind of see what's coming up. It makes sense to have a little look back on the first week of January. Obviously, short week, bank holiday on Monday. Bank holidays don't really apply in my mind from hospitality, but they have to now. I've got kids because nursery closes. So Monday was just spent with the family, zoo, running around, trying to keep them occupied and not destroying the house. Tuesday, nursery back open. So I got stuck into the planning phase really of some of these business concepts. We've been testing quite a lot of cookie recipes, not making cookies but into thin sheets. We've eaten far too much cookie dough and cooked cookie, but we think we've nailed the recipe now. I think it's important to get a really good, consistent, tasty product. So many bland cookies out there. So this is a really nice, tasty cookie. Acts as a really good base for all the other flavours that we're going to throw in there. So looking forward to showing some of that this week when we get some fillings done. We also did our first content creation session back at Crockers Tring. Yes, Crockers Tring still exists. It was bought out of liquidation. I'm really happy to see it still going, still popular, and to be working with the team that I put in place, just not as their boss. Very weird, but really enjoyable to see them all and create some nice content for them. Gonna be doing that every fortnight. I'll get some behind the scenes footage as well of kind of what we're doing, but yeah. And then other than that, it's been pretty much full tilt on studying with Code Academy, frying my brain because it's getting all a bit technical now. I'm not a good studier. If anyone's got any tips for studying, please let me know. I despise sitting at a desk for hours on end. Although Code Academy is great, a lot of learning through doing, which is what I find the best. Still, I'm getting a bit brain fried. So this week coming up, been studying all day today. I've taken a little break to do the video. We've got more cooking and eating, unfortunately. What else have we got? Working on the digital asset idea. So taking a few photos and editing them and kind of just seeing what we like, what we think will do well on Etsy, and just cracking on. Hardest thing in business is just doing it. Get it done. Make some mistakes, make a mess, but fix it and then change it, adapt, pivot. Word of the last 2 years, pivot, but it's so important. Just get going. So that's the plan. And then doing some social content creation for myself, obviously this video. I've got a few little photo shoots in mind with some of my favourite drinks, but more on that a little bit later. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this first video. As I say, hopefully the production and the presentation will get better as I get more comfortable and confident with this. This is not my forte, but we'll get there. If you've got any questions about what's to come, about my past, about me, please pop them in the comments. Hit the like, I'd really appreciate it. And if you can hit a follow as well, I'd really appreciate that as well. So that's the end of the first episode. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, I'd love it if you could just tell all your friends and share it. And then other than that, have a great week, and I'll see you next week.